Before we go where we're going today, I need to warn you. This week is going to be hard, not because the teaching is complicated, but because to understand forgiveness, we have to go back to the wound. And going back to the wound, even in memory, brings visceral reactions that are real and appropriate. I feel them myself when I discuss these things, even now, after years of healing. But here's what I want you to notice. Now, I'm not angry. I'm sad. And there's a difference between those two things that matters more than I can fully explain right now. So stay with me this week. What's coming is hard, but what's on the other side of it is so worth everything it costs to get there. I'm Bill, and this is the Warrior Medic. This episode is for the man who's been told to forgive by his pastor, by his wife, or maybe by people who made it sound so simple. And for the man who tried and couldn't, who concluded that something was wrong with him, that he wasn't capable of forgiveness, that it was too deep. Hear me. Nothing is wrong with you. You just haven't been told the truth about what forgiveness actually is. So let me start with what forgiveness is not. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Reconciliation may come someday or not, but forgiveness is a separate issue altogether. And forgiveness is not saying what happened is okay. What happened to you was not okay. Forgiveness does not change that. And forgiveness is not forgetting. The memories don't disappear. The wound was real then, and the scars, they remain today. Forgiveness is not a feeling. You will not wake up one morning feeling forgiving. Feelings follow decisions. The decision comes first. And feeling is also not confrontation. The person you're forgiving doesn't even need to know. They don't need to apologize, and they don't need to acknowledge what they did. Their knowledge of your forgiveness is completely irrelevant to what it does to your soul. My father never knew I forgave him. I tried to broach the subject once, but it left him in such a state of confusion, I just had to let it go. He died never knowing, and it didn't matter because the forgiveness wasn't for him. It was for me. I need to be honest with you about something most men will never admit. Before I found Jesus, before the friendship we talked about last week, when the memories of what my father did would come, I didn't just feel anger. I fed it. I reveled in it. I would return to those memories and live the outrage and the anger, not because I enjoyed suffering, but because the anger felt like something. It felt like power. When I was a boy, I was powerless. I couldn't stop what was happening to me. I couldn't fight back. I couldn't make it stop. But as an adult, playing the memory, I had the full weight of my rage, and for a moment, that felt like justice, like finally having something he couldn't take away from me. That resentment, oddly, felt like loyalty to the boy that I was. Like staying angry was standing up for the child who couldn't stand up for himself. Almost as if letting go of the anger meant I was abandoning him. Like forgiving meant what happened didn't matter. So I held on to it for decades without even knowing what it was costing me. Forgiveness didn't happen at the time of the wound, not in my teens, and not in my 20s or 30s. The wound was too fresh. The boy was too hurt, and the man, I was too defensive. I only sought to forgive my father in my mid-40s after I had found Jesus as my friend. And here's the thing I need you to understand. My friend didn't command me to forgive, although later I discovered that command in the Bible, but rather my friend drew me to it. And there's a difference. When somebody loves you completely, when you experience being forgiven for everything you've done, then something shifts in your soul. You can't receive that kind of love and keep a closed fist. It just doesn't work. The love loosens the grip, not all at once, but it begins. Jesus didn't tell me to forgive my father. He loved me until I wanted to. That's the only forgiveness that actually works. Not the forgiveness you perform out of obligation, but the forgiveness that comes from being loved first. I want to tell you something nobody has likely told you about forgiveness. It's not a one-time event. The first time I forgave my father, I meant it. It was real. Something inside me shifted. And then months later, a new memory surfaced, or an old one returned. And the anger came with it. And I had to stop. And I had to forgive again. Not because the first time didn't count, but because the wound was deep. And deep wounds heal in layers. Every time the memory came and I chose to forgive, something specific in me healed. Not everything, but something, layer by layer and year by year. This is not failed forgiveness. This is thorough forgiveness. These wounds were inflicted over years in layers, and healing works the same way. Stay in the process. Every repetition is real. Every repetition that heals something. And when my anger finally released, I expected to feel free. I expected relief, lightness, resolution. What I felt was actually sadness, not emptiness and not indifference, but grief. And at first, I didn't understand that. I thought something was wrong, that I hadn't fully forgiven. But after some introspection, I discovered the grief wasn't for me. I'm not sad for myself. I'm sad for him, my father. My father survived an incredibly abusive childhood, but he never healed. He never knew healing was possible, and he never got to find what I found. And so he spent his fatherhood doing what wounded men do, passing those wounds to the next generation. Not because he chose to, but because he didn't know there was another way. What breaks my heart, even now, are not the moments that happened, it's the moments that didn't. The tender moments that could have lived in his son's hearts forever, that don't exist. Not because there wasn't time, but because rage filled the space where those moments should have been. Those non moments are heartbreaking. He could, he could have been remembered tenderly by his sons in his elder years, but he spent that opportunity not on love, but on control, on rage, on the wound he never named. I grieved that, not for myself, but for him, for what he could have been, for what he could have had, for the legacy he left and the one he could have left instead. Forgiving my father didn't mean what he did was okay. It meant finally I saw him clearly enough to grieve him. And that grief, that sadness, is not weakness. It's what healing feels like. I want to speak to two men right now. First, the son, the man carrying what his father instilled in him, the man who's been waiting for apology that will never come, waiting for a confrontation, waiting for his father to acknowledge what he did. Stop waiting. The forgiveness doesn't require him, it requires you. And it's available to you right now, whether your father is living or dead, whether he knows or he doesn't, whether he would grieve or laugh. His knowledge of your forgiveness is irrelevant. Your freedom from carrying it is not. Second, I want to speak to the father, the man who has recognized himself in what I've just described, who heard non moments and felt the weight of the ones he's already created, who is right now doing to his sons what was done to him. This is not condemnation. This is an invitation. You're not your father's wound. You do not have to pass this to the next generation. The chain can break with you, but it will only break if you heal. And healing starts with what we've been talking about this week: the friendship, the foundation, and now the first tool: forgiveness. Again, I ask you to do one thing, and it's not a list. This week, when their memory comes and the anger fires, don't feed it. Just notice it. And ask yourself one question: what am I actually grieving underneath this rage? You don't have to forgive today. You just have to ask the question. That question, asked honestly, is the beginning of everything. Understand this: unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It only hurts you. I know, because I drank of it for decades, and I know what it cost me, and I know what releasing it gave back. I wrote all about this in Forged by Fire: the anger, the reveling, the process, the grief, the non moments that still break my heart. It's all there. The link is below. Get the book, it could change you. And tap the coin logo on your screen right now. That subscribes you to this channel. Don't miss what's coming, because the practical tools, the real work of healing, we're just getting started. And remember, we're all becoming warrior medics. So reach back, help someone on their journey. My name is Bill, and this is the Warrior Medic. No man left behind.